people now see that the few who were denouncing that before, they were called Uncle Tom sell out. But today now, many blacks and many Africans now start speaking that we have bad behaviors. We are not that nice that you think. No. God is not crazy. There are things that we are doing that actually make us go always backward or make us be stagnant. The situation that happened in France not so long, like a few days ago, and it happened often. I think it's in Paris, I don't know. No, France suffer. I don't know about the UK, but what is happening there is too much. The other European countries, they see what's happened there. Now they are doing the hunt of illegals in France. People are angry about it. Let's go. You see here, this man is denouncing something that happened in France. You see all the people on the floor that they're African women, single moms with their children, with the stroller and then children. Look it. They're complaining, I don't know about what, at the town hall. I mean, the administration of these people, the administration they're going there in Paris with their children like that everywhere to complain about I don't know what in a country that is not even theirs.
Toutes ces femmes qui sont ici là se sont déversées la semaine dernière à la mairie du 11e arrondissement. Mais moi, la question que je pose, pourquoi
Where are the husbands? Where are they?
Vous n'avez pas maison, vous n'avez pas mari, mais vous tous, vous avez poussette, vous tous, vous avez enfants. Yeah. Vos enfants là, où vous faites ça? Où vous faites ça pour tout? Vous cherchez maison, c'est quoi?
You see, he even talks about the fact that most of them are Muslims. Okay, you see that if you look at them specifically, they're African Muslim ladies, and then he say you won't even see other race Muslims doing this habit.
Moi, la question que je me pose, c'est quoi votre but? C'est quoi votre but?
What is the goal exactly? See?
De la religion là, ou bien c'est pour vous cacher?
So, you see their habit. Okay, we have habits. People are fed up. I can break the rhetoric of people who always say, "Oh, white people came to preach. They came to brainwash our head with religion, and this is white people religion." But I have a question for you who hate Christian and whatever, who hate Christian, Protestant, Catholic, you hate them, no problem. But the country where you live there, as African spiritualists, you who are Muslims, as you claim so high, it has been proven that you like to go live in Christian countries. No, seriously, let's be honest on that. I'm not criticizing you. It's an observation and it's a fact. We see that most of you in the world, you like to go live in Christian countries. Christian country, how? France, for example, is fundamental. I think one of the fundamental also is Catholicism. Most of the people are Catholics by faith in France. So if you hate Catholicism, if you hate Christian, if you hate Protestant, what are you doing there? You are African spirituality. Stay in Africa. That's where you are supposed to be. You see how black people are difficult to. You see the game. You are Muslim, then go to Muslim countries. You see, but you see many Muslims, they don't go there. They don't go to Muslim. Then we go to America, countries who are fundamentally Christian countries. They go to the UK, they are Catholic. You go to Spain, Catholic. You go to Italy, Catholic. You go to France, Catholic. You go to Germany, Protestant. But Switzerland, I think they are Protestant too. So you feel comfortable going there because you enjoy certain freedom that you don't have in your own countries. As you see Christian coming to speak loud in Muslim country, you can never see that. Never. Because the day we try, you know what's going to happen to you. You have mosques in Christian countries. Mosques in Catholic countries, we are open. But every time is, oh, why people come to brainwash? You know, I'm telling you, there is hypocrisy. There is no, the black, we are hypocrite. We have to stop it. We have to seriously stop it. Seriously. Because God sees us. Stop. We can fight. But if you want to fight, be honest in the way we fight a system. Talking about, okay, let me go back to what I was saying. They were breaking stuff everywhere. And you expect these people to respect you. You expect these people to listen to you when you complain about what happened in your countries. But you are the same people who don't even want to go back home either. Because you know who you put there in power. You know. For these Western peoples to rule us like that, it has to be a bridge. We don't break this bridge. We are acclaiming these bridges. Our behaviors are bad. We have bad behaviors. It has to stop. Africans, it has to stop. Sometimes, maybe because it's different, but you just saw the video. People in Europe, they are like that. They cannot take it anymore. One last time I say, Trump has now banned many countries in the world, and most of them are African. I'm not surprised. You know why? Because you lack credibility. I also watch and read other people who talk about African situation too, because I also get to know other Africa. I don't limit myself to my own country. I also talk with people from other African countries. And most of the time, when I listen to them, same scenario, same thing. That's why I'm shocked when I see some Africans say, oh, we are better than you. You are not better. We are all in the same mud. Oh, Africa is rich. Africa is not rich. Listen, we are not rich. We are poor. In order to be called rich, you have to be some independence, some capacity on our own to do some stuff in our countries. Yes, the land, the continent on its own is weak because of all the resources that you have, but we are poor. Even if you say, oh, the GDP is just a word to evaluate, but in real life, we know what is happening on the ground. For a country to say that it is rich is the capacity to not only produce and exploit, but also refine and sell. I give an example. Maybe I'm wrong because I'm not an economist, but I think common sense wants us to think like. If I have, for example, cocoa, because African countries are the more exporter of cocoa, we always sell rough from like butter, rough, but we don't refine our product. So when the white come, they buy our cocoa, for example. Let's say countries like Ghana and Ivory Coast, who are top world producers of cocoa. A country like Switzerland, who doesn't even produce cocoa, it comes to you, for example, just an example, they buy cocoa. They take your cocoa, they work, they refine, and they make good chocolate, fine chocolate, and then they sell it to higher, expensive prices compared to how much you sold to them. This capacity of refining and making this cocoa good and luxury, we don't do that. That's why we are not rich, we are poor. We are not the capacity to create stuff on our own. And that's why when I saw Ibrahim Traoré when he went to Russia, and I really, 2 months ago, recently went back to Russia. He went to Russia. Vladimir Putin welcomed him there. And I love the way Vladimir Putin start the exchange, you know. because Vladimir Putin, you know, it seems like he likes history a lot, okay, because he always go back to history of the two countries, and then he entered the main subject of the discussion. But I love what Ibrahim Traoré say. He say, because I think maybe Putin thought that he was coming to ask. African like to beg to ask. African people like to ask. But this time, he saw a young leader who didn't ask. The only thing Ibrahim Traoré asked to Putin was to help for education of the young people of Burkina Faso. And then if he could help investing in the structure of universities and schools in Burkina Faso, I found it to invest in the education system of his country. When I heard that, I was amazed by Ibrahim Traoré, because I realized that this man, he understood everything. He understood everything. He understood that African people in his country must cut entertainment and distraction. This is one of the things that African people, we love distraction and entertainment too much. Black people like entertainment a lot. It's true. You know? So when he said that, he didn't ask for money. He said, please, we want a cooperation with Russia, so that our young men and women can come to study. And if you can help also, so we can have good materials in school. This is what I've been saying many times, that our school, we have no materials. You know, in my country, I heard from a real professional who was a surgeon, told me that in my country, people study, but they don't have real way to really, because even in medicine, you need to know. There are things that material. So how can you teach medicine, doctor? How can you make doctors if you don't really have the material to learn for fact how to do stuff? When Ibrahim Traoré said about that, I was like, wow, that man understood everything. Because the more you have an educated population, the more you can guarantee that the country will move forward, will develop. The problem we have in Africa is because our population is no longer educated. It's a fact. That's why, since the white people left, we have to be honest on that. When the white people left our countries, they say, okay, you want your independence, take it now, do it. What happened? Everything fell apart. It's a fact. It's a fact. We couldn't be able to. When I talk to you about high school back home, this high school was the best high school, one of the best high school in town. This high school were managed by white people at the time, when the school was good high school. When I go back to vintage video, I see this high school, I want to cry. There were white students, there were black students, there were white people themselves and black people, but the people on the top were white people who were managing this high school. When these white people left, you heard the stories I'm telling you. It's true. I didn't even tell you everything, because if I tell you some details, you say you are lying, but it's true. Look all the stuff you see. I don't see that it's good. Sorry, I don't see that it's good. But look how we haven't this knowledge of maintaining property or maintaining building. That's why in our country, most of the time, we break stuff. But when you go to Europe, you go to America, they protect the old building. They maintain, they renovate it, they keep, because it's the part of their history. In my country, you have no other sign of what happened in the history. You don't even know where it. You have to search. You have to search. But when you go to this country of these white people there, when they tell you the history, you can go on the ground and see the facts for real. Last time when I was reading the book of Melania Trump, there is a part where she talks about how she renovated some rooms of the White House. You don't know that? Yes, she did. because the woman doesn't talk too much. Like, she doesn't go on podcast. She doesn't go on podcast complaining. She doesn't talk like that. She doesn't talk like that. She does stuff. Melania Trump, she's talked about some rooms in the White House that hasn't been renovated since decades. I said decades. Like I said, decades, not like, no, sometimes more than 10 years sometimes, or maybe even 20. There are places that she saw something was happening on the wall, humidity, and this thing on the wall, because she say, I understand how important it's a part of the history of the American people. She said that. She's not American, by the way, by birth, but she is First Lady, and she understood how important these are important for the future. The coming first families will be living there. What marked me is when she said, this is why I realized that we have not really much education back home. She called a lady, okay, because Melania Trump, she's architect. She studied architecture, for those who don't know, okay? She studied architecture. And she called a lady who was in architecture and in art design and everything. That lady, she also know American history. Then she called people who are in the conservation or something like, because I don't know the word in English, all that conservation of history and all these American historians. She called them. She asked how can she keep this, because she understands that this part of the wall, these things that you see in the building are important for the American history of the people, or the people will be coming. There are rooms. There is a room where Queen Elizabeth slept. I didn't know that. Where Winston Churchill slept. I didn't know that. They have to keep that room how it was at the time when they came to sleep, in a way. So you need people who know history. They have to keep it how it looks, at least approximately, at least close to what it was at the time. In Africa, you ask it, it's impossible. What's going to happen? They will break everything, and no, you don't break everything. Sometimes we need to keep, even if it was painful, keep it, maintain it. We have a problem of maintaining stuff. That's why we don't know how to keep stuff. You see how even we take care of homes, we don't know how to maintain it. And I heard, I think the man was from where? From Ghana, an intellectual. He says something like, Africans don't know what it means to maintain. It looks like it's not in our vocabulary to maintain something. That's why when sometimes you see some white expatriates, when they go in Africa and then they hire women, African women, to clean, and they have to be after, they have to always look at you because they know that you're big breaking. You don't know how to maintain, they don't know how to maintain. That thing was expensive. Even if you see something is old like that, they keep it for years. We don't know that. Easy they break. No, when you do stuff, even to finish a work, like to refine the work, we have this problem. We have this problem because the lack of education. I was telling you last time that we don't have libraries. We don't. It's like we are not encouraging the education of the people. But you will see bars, place to drink. Am I lying that black people like to drink and entertain and dance? Am I lying? Because it is favor. It is somehow encouraged by the system. But there is a time where we can wake up and say, enough. People cannot take it. It's not only Donald Trump. Countries don't want us anymore. It's a call for action from our government. It's time to change.